It's Ivan Maltsev, general partner from 3X Capital. And today, together with Slavik, we will present you analytical report on Linea and their ecosystem. So it's an amazing layer 2 blockchain on Ethereum, and Slava will provide more insights about it. And later on, I will do a market research and present you an insightful report from Coinbase and Glassnode. So I'm super excited to share and learn from Slava today. So Slava, would you like to start?
Sure. Nice to have everybody here. And so let's go and delve deeper into Linea ecosystem. So what is a Linea? And I think some of you may already heard about them. It's a large name on the market. And they are so Linea was formerly named as Consensus ZK EVM. It's a layer 2 platform, which basically based on Ethereum, and what they're building is zero knowledge proof. The chain which utilize zero knowledge proofs on top of Ethereum virtual machine, and it's developed by Consensus. So Consensus is their parent company here, and right now Linea is actively developing, having a lot of community interactions with their socials, with their programs. The Voyage, we will dive deeper right now, a bit later, into next stage, which started basically today, and yeah, we'll also dive deeper on some projects which are developed on Linea. Well, let's start with their fundraising. So they have an extensive, I think, one of the largest fundraising in a couple of years in the whole crypto industry. They raised $775 million, and they have valuation of $7 billion right now, with backings from, I think, almost everyone, with tier one funds as Dragonfly, Coinbase, also some traditional investors like Microsoft, SoftBank are invested in Linea. Also, the Consensus, their parent company, is backing them with every kind of support. And Consensus as well is really active and growing company, with their revenue being $720 million in 2022 itself. Some products from Consensus which we have heard a lot about is MetaMask and Infura. Also, a number of other products are developed. Maybe if someone already used Linea, they had seen that Linea is automatically included into MetaMask. That's why, because Consensus developed both of the product, and that they're basically partly ecosystem. But yeah, before going to projects on top of this built on top of Linea, or which use Linea, I think we shall discuss their community program, which called Linea Voyage, and the current stage of it, the search, which basically started today. So I think a couple of weeks ago, they have announced a new stage in their development and progress. So they had a number of community programs before, where they had a lot of tasks for community, where they can, by completing them, they will receive LXP tokens. So basically, it's on-chain tokens, which are soul bonds and which are connected to each and every wallet. After the connection, after the stage has done, for every task you completed, you will receive number of LXP tokens. But right now, there is a next stage which was introduced, called search, and it is principally different from the others by the simple reason that it aims to reward liquidity providers in Linea ecosystem. So we will have a lot of LXP distributed between those who are willing to provide more and more liquidity to Linea, and we will see the growth in their TVL really quickly. Right now, it's already started growing, so it's in the whole Linea ecosystem has TVL right now around $230 million. But I can assure you that we will see much higher numbers in next months because the program just started. And so basically, what the idea is to have influx of liquidity into protocols on top of Linea to make them more trustworthy, basically, and more useful. Because, for instance, some protocols as DEXs are less reliable with low liquidity, and that's why it's critical for them and other platforms as well. Also, it will boost the revenues on top of Linea. Much more transactions will be held. So talking about their program, how they will distribute LXP, these points is already known. So they have shown how they will do it. There is some math formulas behind it. I won't be sharing them today because I think it would be a bit dull to do it. But there is a rather simple way to show for what you will be rewarded and how you will be rewarded in future for your actions on Linea. So right now there is three basically tiers of your ways to put your assets into work. And as you can see in the top, there is an assets you can work with, and in the left there is a type of platforms which you can use. And as we can see, so bright blue is high weight asset. So you will receive the maximum points possible for Linea and for depositing, for instance, Ethereum or liquid restaked assets or token into DEXs. So basically, for instance, I can give you an example how we can do it. You can bridge your asset to Linea. For instance, it will be Ethereum. You can stake it, and then you can find a liquidity pool in any DEX between your Ethereum and asset which you received after staking. So it's restaked asset token, and you will be able to provide liquidity in both of them. And in this way, you will receive the maximum amount of LXP tokens. There is also a way to do it in other platforms. So, for instance, for bridges, there is the critical need for stable coins, because a lot of assets been bridged in stables to Linea and to a lot of chains. So usually the bridges are happening or in Ethereum or in stable coins, and that's why there is a high demand and high weight for such kind of assets for in bridges. Also, light blue is medium weight, so you will receive less rewards for this. However, it's for sure it's connected with risk, so you should be clear that the higher is rewards, the higher is risk probably. And with some DEXs, be cautious regarding their TVL here, because Linea is just growing, and there is a lot of projects with relatively low TVL comparing to others. The same with lendings. So how you can basically do it, sometimes you can lend some assets and borrow back some other assets as well, but you will need to be careful with your safety scores, and that's the part of security here which you will need to calculate. And another point, so in order to participate in the search itself, you will need to be invited, and here is a link with an invite. So basically it works right now. A lot of projects are started to do this. So basically you're needed to be invited in the program in order to be part of it. And right now, if you will join basically earlier, you have a chance to participate in early adopters program. So they have also a multipliers for those who are interested to join earlier to Linea. So right now they have 1.5 rate. So basically, if at normal you would receive, for instance, 100 LXP for some actions, today you can receive 150. Their overall system is dedicated and distributed between 6 volts, so it's so-called stages. In first 3 stages, it will be higher multiplier, however, it will be dropping till the 1, and in 4th stage, you will have a multiplier of 1. So basically, it will be just the multiplier for basic actions. So you're incentivized to join as early as possible here. Going to some projects which you can use on Linea, and I will start with Linux. So Linux right now is the only project which is officially backed by Linea, which where basically they state that Linux will be part of search campaign, and right now it's the only one who is officially here, but this number will for sure be increased because today is the first day of the program, and Linux is right now a native DEX on Linea. So they have already launched their token, and this is currently one of the biggest protocols on Linea. So they have a TVL of $23 million, as you can see right now on the screen. So it's a fresh screenshot was made, and it's close to reality right now. So there is number of actions you can do here. You can work with your assets. You can provide it to provide the liquidity to pools. Also, you can be rewarded for trading. However, with trading there is also some risk involved. The slippage risk. So with every trade you make, you may lose some percentage of your portfolio. And that's also a risk you need to understand. So if you plan to trade on some larger sums, that's what you need to be cautious about. But overall, there is a number of other projects being developed on top of Linea. So I think we can go to Linea ecosystem, and there is like a quick overview of every project. I think there is just a part of projects which utilize Linea as a part of their solution or build totally on top of Linea, and we can see project in every category. But today we will go through three main categories. It's bridges, it's DeFi protocols as DEXs and lendings, and also some other tools you can use, which can help you, and some great tools I found on Linea. So I think we can also we recommend you to go to our EVM guide, because it's EVM ecosystem. So you will need to set up your wallet, and you will need to understand how to use basic tools of Web3 here in order to move through a Linea ecosystem. But let's start with bridges. So there is some well-known bridges will be present. So it's the first one is Target Finance, developed by Layer Zero. Right now is one of the biggest bridges on the market. They have a total value locked of $320 million at this moment, and they have, I think, the highest number of assets supported among all bridges. Also, a number of chains supported. So right now is well-trusted solution. Also, they have extensive. They have a number of other. So it's not like Target Finance, but the solutions developed by Layer Zero. There is a couple of other bridges developed by using their solution, and the rather drawback is fees. So the fees may be high, but with recent Ethereum update, with Duncan update, which we had, fees decreased dramatically in many chains and in Linea as well. So right now it's much easier and cheaper to use Ethereum and Layer 2s, mainly Layer 2s, and the transaction cost may be really low comparing to other networks, basically. The next bridge is Arena Finance, also one of popular one. So it's big bridge with number of assets, and I think they have the largest number of one of the largest number of Layer 2s integrated. So they have like this experimental chains which you can bridge through. So majority of Layer 2s right now they consider experimental, like Blast and others. But still, you can. What the benefit of Arena Finance? The main benefit, they have a fixed transaction fee for every bridge. So even if it goes high, you will probably have the same transaction cost during any time. So it's a reliable tool to use in some extra situation. And the last one is Orbiter Finance, also another bridge. So they have a number of supported chains here. However, sometimes they may have some limitations, and they have also 17 supported chains right now. If we will talk regarding the chains count itself, it's the highest chains count. It's from everyone currently. But they have a limited number of assets supported. Only 4 assets currently are supported. It's USDC, USDT, Ethereum, and Bitcoin. If there is any Bitcoin asset on other chains. So also Orbiter is an interesting solution. They have also their airdrop campaign, so you can like earn their all points if you use Orbiter. Plus, you can have and you can participate in their campaigns on other social platforms like Galaxy or Zilli. So let's go to next topic, and I think it's one of largest here with Linea is DeFi. So I try to cover the biggest protocols on Linea, the most reliable, and I will start with Zero Lens. Right now is top 2 protocol by TVL on Linea. So mainly what is this? It's a lending platform. It's cross-chain lending currently. So it's built on top of Pyth and Chainlink. Also, they utilize V3 pools in their solution. It's relatively new solution. However, they are quickly gaining ground, and their total TVL in all chains is more than $200 million currently. They have around $90 million locked only in Blast as well. So currently it's available also on Zkasync and Mansa, but Blast and Linea is the biggest pools and the biggest chains with their presence. A great tool which you can use in order to move and work with your liquidity to lend it in different layer 2s. Yeah, I think that's what can be said regarding Zerland currently. The next is Renzo Finance. It's the biggest protocol on Linea with 130 million locked value. It's a staking protocol which is built on top of EigenLayer. They are also present in number of chains, other chains. So they're also present on Blast and on other protocols here. So you can use them here. So I think right now on Linea is the most reliable way to stake your Ethereum, for instance. And you can use Rendo Ethereum, which you will receive after you staked your Ethereum itself to work with it in other protocols. Going to the next one. So Mandy here, it's a new protocol, more unique to Linea. So right now it's native Linea lending protocol. Probably they will be part of their search campaign really soon because they are supported by Linea here. Right now they have TVL around $15 million and it's growing. And it's one of I think best way also to try Linea and to work with your liquidity. The next project is more popular here, SyncSwap. It's not like Linea solution, but it's available on Linea, and they have one of the biggest TVL on Linea already as well. However, originally it was developed for Zkasync. It's already available on Zkasync, Scroll, Base, and Linea as well. They have TVL of $12 million, and it's growing. It's a reliable solution with their overall TVL being over $600 million in all chains combined. But it's a great solution if you're trying to seek a reliable way to swap assets. That's a great way to do it. Also, another project, more interesting one, is Gamma. It's more unique project. It's project for liquidity management and market making. So basically, you can provide your assets for market making, for instance, for liquidity and for liquidity management, and you will receive fees for it. It's kind of a staking. You like work with your assets, but it's also connected with number of risks. But mainly, it's basically automated market making tool for others to use as well. And the last project in DEX field is Nile. So it's a new project with relatively low TVL, around $8 million currently. It is a DEX built and supported by Linea and Consensus. And I believe it's one of promising ones here because they have strong backing from the ecosystem itself. And they might be in a great position to take the market share here. So if we'll overall look on the DEXs and landings we have discussed today, so I think there is some biggest one like Linex or Zeroland being the biggest landing currently, but there is also much smaller ones with their portion of risk, because on any smaller lending or swap you will have risks connected with slippage, so you may lose some percentage of your assets while you making your transactions. But it will basically solve its issue after the TVL is grown. That's basically partly the reason why search campaign is launched to boost liquidity here in such projects. But going to some other tools which you can find useful for yourself in future also. So the first one is Linea name service. So it's a name service which is built by Layer 0 and Linea. Quite simple. So basically, if you need to name anything on Linea website, smart contract, wallet, that's the place to go. Seamless solution with great support from ecosystem as well. The next project is Nomis. So Nomis is quite interesting one. It's present in a number of ecosystems here, but what they do, they build your reputation score. And basically, if you're active on chain and you're interested to understand how active you're on chain, you can go to Nomis to see deeper analytics of your wallet, maybe some volume, number of transactions made. With ease, you can check it on Nomis on number of chains currently. Not only Linea, you can check it in some ecosystems, like you can check it for Layer 0, you can check it for zkSync, and for others. And the list of supported chains is growing steadily. Next project is also a new project. In fact, it's really interesting project called zkPass, an interesting solution, and they are right now building it on top of Linea and Layer 0. So what are they basically building? They build in a solution where you can seamlessly and easily mint zkPass. So basically, you can mint NFT, which will prove anything on web. If any website has HTTPS gateway, you can go use their extension and prove any data point you may need in order to use any other platform. Their ultimate goal is to basically have themselves as a prover of basically any service verification you may need, QAC, IML, and others. You can already check it out. They have number of Web2 projects like integrated, where you can easily verify almost any data. I think it's really interesting solution with great potential here, and it's actually growing currently. Yeah, also like the well-known one is Dmail. So it's communication infrastructure. You can use it to send mails on chain from wallet to wallet. from messaging. So it's easy. It's a really great tool where when the transactions are low, and in ecosystem where transactions are low, you can use it to have secure communication and chatting with anyone, and a great tool to use. I think there is not a lot of projects which do it in this way. Yeah, and the last one is just the basic tool you might need to use Linea. It's Linea Explorer. Basically, if you have any needs and you need to know any information regarding transactions, smart contracts, wallets on Linea, Linea Explorer will help you here. And yes, that's I think mainly it regarding Linea ecosystem. So
yeah, thank you, Slava. Thank you. That was a super interesting report. We will publish it soon on Medium, and we will share it on LinkedIn profile. Thank you for sharing your knowledge and insights about the ecosystem and the protocols. And right now, I ask you to write your questions in the chat. If you want to know more about Linea ecosystem, or you have some questions to Slava, feel free to comment, and we will come back to your questions in the end. Meanwhile, I will also present a report that will give you a broader overview of the crypto market, specifically the Bitcoin. So I will be also sharing my screen. Yeah. Just a second. Let me know if you see my screen right now, so you can give me a comment or like or anything, so I can see that you see it. Just a second. Okay, great, perfect. So this is one of the most comprehensive reports in the crypto space that I saw built by Coinbase Institutional, their head of research, and by one of the senior analysts from Glassnode. It includes on-chain data and information about the recent Bitcoin spot ETF, but also data about derivatives in the market. So it has around 60 pages, but today we will cover around 30 pages, and I will share this report with everyone, and you can have a look on your own. So let's start with the first part. So the market overview. The market capitalization reached out almost to $2.8 billion. So the crypto market and the Bitcoin has a capitalization of around $1.5 billion. So that's a significant growth for the market, but we still didn't achieve the all-time high. So based on the report in the end of 2021, we had the market capitalization of around $3 trillion with all altcoins and Bitcoin and stable coins as well. Regarding the crypto dominance, which represents the dominance in the market capitalization of all cryptocurrencies, you can see here that the Bitcoin dominance is growing, starting from the January 2023, when the Bitcoin spot ETF was approved and started to trade. Also, we can see that Ethereum has a stable market share, so it's around 20% right now, a bit low, and we also see a significant growth in stable coins and altcoins dominance. Regarding the correlation of Bitcoin, we can see the significant correlation with Ethereum, but we do not see like significant correlation with other assets like gold or S&P 500. So from investment perspective, Bitcoin is a great asset to have in your portfolio, just to diversify it, and because it doesn't have any high correlation with any of the major assets in the investment portfolios of the traders and long-term investors. Here you can see the portfolio diversification we're affecting by adding crypto to 60 to 40 portfolio. So if you will be adding a small percentage of crypto index called CoinCore, which is a market cap weighted crypto index. Usually it's rebalanced quarterly, and you will see that this will very positively influence on your portfolio during long term, and also will increase your Sharpe ratio and Sortino ratio as well. Here you can see an interesting also chart regarding the impact on return and Sharpe ratio from adding this asset. So we can see from the beginning from 1% in your portfolio of CoinCore asset that I mentioned before to 5%. So when you add this asset, your potential return is growing from 7% to up to 11% when you have 5% of CoinCore in your portfolio. Also, your Sharpe ratio will grow exponentially. So you see this orange line here that will be growing from average like 5% to around 9%. Also, you can see the asset class performance from 2013 to 2023. So Bitcoin is one of the most, I could say, the most well-performing asset in the space. Of course, it had some years like 2014 when it experienced a significant decline, also 2018 and 2020-22, which was quite bearish for the all markets, but Bitcoin has declined in minus 65% in 2022. But in general, we see that average annualized performance of Bitcoin is 124% based on the data from the past 10 years, actually even 11 years. Also, we see that the stablecoin supply, especially USDT, is growing. So right now, the market capitalization of all stablecoins is around $100 billion. Stablecoins are used a lot in DeFi, and typically they are like one-to-one to dollar or euro or another fiat currency. There are different types of stablecoins. I will not deep dive into that, but we can see that the majority of the market shares belongs to USDT, and the market capitalization of USDT right now is around $60 billion, maybe even higher. Stablecoin network velocity is quite impressive with aggregated velocity near 0.2, which means 20% of supply is transacting on a daily basis. So this is a significant proof of the usage of stablecoin by community investors. So here you can see some data about the Bitcoin. So the supply in circulation right now is 94%. The inflation rate is 1.6%. Also, we can see that currently from 21 million fixed circulating supply, we have 19.68 million that is unlocked. So it is circulating. But more interesting, we will discover today the liquid supply of Bitcoin, and we will find out some insights about it. So speaking about Bitcoin ETF balances, specifically spot Bitcoin ETF that was launched in January this year, we can see a significant growth from the beginning. So we had before we had GBTC, which is here in blue, that is actually decreasing the position in the market, and in total Bitcoin spot ETF as of 31st of March is around $60 billion in assets. So right now I think even in the past 20 days it went up and grew up to new heights. So probably it's around 70 billion right now. So we need to check, but in general, we can see that new players like EBIT and BITB also are increasing the shares significantly. ETF inflows with new issuance. So here you can see with purple line that US Bitcoin spot ETF flows declined in the end of March, but right now they are recovering, and we see that there is still a huge potential, and despite the issuance of Bitcoin, so you can see here in yellow the issuance of Bitcoin, we have significantly higher demand from Bitcoin spot ETF. When I was analyzing the data, the ratio was 1 to 8. So it means that during the past 3.5 months, investors bought 8 times more Bitcoin with the spot ETFs than the miners have received. Also spot and ETF volume. So now we can see that spot volume is extremely high. It is also correlated a bit with the ETF volume. At some point, spot Bitcoin volume reached around $25 billion. It was in the beginning of March, previous months. And right now we see a significant decline, but still the demand from the investors and traders is significant. Also here you can find out an interesting chart that provides a historical data on BTC price performance since halving. So we can see that, for instance, the first halving, which is here named as an Epoch 1, where the Bitcoins, where the miners received for the same energy like 50 BTC. Right now they are receiving much less. So right now I think it's 6.25 BTC. So we can see how this influenced the growth. So the post-halving was, of course, a very, very successful period for Bitcoin. The second one, the same. And actually, the third and the fourth were also super positive for the Bitcoin performance. What to expect next, I don't know. So I will not provide any financial advice, just together with you observing some interesting data that was provided by Glassnode. And also Bitcoin available supply. This is super interesting to explore. The supply that is liquid, because of course there are many lost wallets, wallets that are stuck in very long-term holdings or locked up. So the supply that is available to trade right now is quite low. So it's around 4.5 million Bitcoins. That is actually around 25% of all supply. So that's an impressive number. And we can see that it is decreasing starting from the peak in 2020 to the moment where we have 4.6 million BTC. that is available supply right now. So this metric is quite impressive. I understood that Bitcoin illiquid supply is huge. It's around 75% of the market, and the liquid supply is also decreasing, and the decreasing percentage is around 10 in the past 5 years. So we can say that around 2% of BTC are lost or stuck in some very long-term holdings, which means that if we discuss this metric with inflation rate, 1.6%, this means that Bitcoin is a deflationary asset because a huge amount of supply is lost by different reasons, of course. And BTC price and market capitalization here. It represents the price of BTC that increased actually this year 69% in the first quarter. And the demand, of course, came to the space due to the spot ETFs that we discussed before. Bull market cycle performance is described here, so we can see that historically the multiples are lower than during the past cycles that we had. So you can see here the last cycle, 2022 till nowadays. And this metric just shows that the market is becoming more mature, and the Bitcoin, of course, is growing in the market capitalization to impressive numbers. And right now it's top 10 or maybe top 15 largest asset in the world based on the market capitalization. And very interesting graph explains here the BTC price performance since cycle low, and it shows where we are right now. So the cycle that started in 2022, and we can see that we are just in the middle of the cycle, like 12 plus months from the beginning, and we still have a significant potential for growth despite of many corrections that we can experience during that way. We can expect that some positive events also will influence the price, like the spot ETF approval in Hong Kong or some other events that will definitely in the long term will have a positive impact, like Bitcoin halving, of course. Also, BTC annual returns and intra-year declines are significantly returns are significantly higher than declines. So we can compare that even during the past 2 years, we had many times higher returns than declines. And in general, this shows us that, of course, there were like 3 very like negative years for Bitcoin when, as we discussed, 2014, 2018, and 2022. But in the long term, in the past 10 or even 11 years, we have a very positive dynamic, and the holders are always earning from the market that is growing. Also, very popular index that is described here called NUPL, or Net Unrealized Profit and Loss Index, that shows us different psychological cycles based on the unrealized profit and loss. So here you can see that we just recently achieved this belief and denial cycle. We didn't still achieved the euphoria cycle that we had during the previous 2 cycles in 2011, 2013, and 2018. So where we had this blue color when people were just buying assets from the market without even considering any declines. So it was an euphoria cycle. Also, BTC supply profitability state. I think that we, based on this metric, we can see that we reached this euphoria state starting from approximately January this year. But still, we have some significant amount of potential growth. The huge amount of supply is in profit right now. So just to explain, it's around 80% of supply. So 80% of people who bought Bitcoin are in profit right now. And also interesting metrics here regarding the daily active addresses, which usually is around 1 million on average. Right now has a bit lower numbers than before. So it's around 800,000 active addresses daily on Bitcoin network. And also the BTC daily active entities is around 200,000 daily. Here you can see that long-term holders were decreasing their positions during the past couple of months. So they were selling starting from November, and with this blue line, we can see that a vast majority of entities, investors, retail investors, they were taking money from the market. Long-term investors are considered of holders who were holding their assets of more than 155 days. So it's around 5 months of holding based on this criteria. And we can see that the majority of assets in million, actually around $1 million were decreased. 1 million Bitcoins were decreased during the past 4 or even 5 months. Also, here we can see that the volatility in Bitcoin is going significantly down during the past 4 years. And we can see more stability in the space. Bitcoin as an asset becoming more mature. It has higher market capitalization. It has more exposure to institutional participation. I think that's the main reasons why. And also BTC monthly realized volatility bands is a super interesting metric that showcase that the volatility is becoming also higher, and but not I can say the deviation is a new like metric that is around higher than 1 ratio, but still we can see that the volatility is significant comparing to the other assets, but in general it's become more stable than we had it in January 2021 and other months. So the past couple of 2 years are not so volatile as we had before. And a very interesting metric that I wanted to discuss is BTC realized price and market value to realized value, MVRV ratio. It means the current price is around X to the market's average cost basics. So based on this ratio, the Bitcoin is overvalued significantly. But also we can see that the MVRV went up to the mark of 4.5, even higher. value. So as I mentioned, that's also a signal for us to think about some realized profits in the market. Long-term holder MVRV, so something that we discussed, market value to realized value. And you can see here different metrics. For instance, the blue one is long-term holders MVRV, so that recently reached a very high risk number, 3.5 based on this graph. So definitely needs to be considered that buying right now is high risk for investors. But when the metric was near the green level or orange level, it was relatively low risk investment. So when the price of Bitcoin was around 15 or 20 or 25,000, when many professional investors were buying Bitcoin to their portfolios. Also, BTC MVRV momentum chart shows that 6 months simple moving average, which is used usually to catch for momentum. It is above the 6 months SMA. Typically describes the market macro market uptrends and periods where it is below downtrends. So you can see here that MVRV 180 day moving average has increased significantly starting from January previous year, but we still didn't achieve the peak that we had during the past cycle that was around 3 value. I will not go today through the derivatives. I think we covered a lot interesting information, and thank you for being with us. I'm highly interested to see your questions, your feedback about this session. So let me check the LinkedIn. Maybe we have some questions. We will share this report with everyone, so you can have a look on your own. And I think that Glassnode and Coinbase Institutional, they are doing the most comprehensive reports in the market, describing not only the basic information, but also on-chain data that provides more insights about the current market state. So we will continue to share this information with you, and we will be looking forward to your feedback and questions. Thank you, everyone. I will be ending our stream. Wish you a wonderful rest of